the guys back in the 60s and 70s, I mean, they're smoking cigarettes on the line, before GPs, and, you see these old pics and stuff. It was a different time. And now what you have to do, you have to train and you have to be a professional athlete. That's how you succeed at this sport.
Flawless. McGrath is not close enough to make a move on the final turn. It is Jeff Emig.
I met a gypsy.
Yeah, Nicoletti was talking about how amazing it was to be in the UK and Oz last year, and he's like, I just didn't know I had so many fans all over the world. So it's like it's such a cool, positive thing for the sport. And yeah, you're right. I think that you'll see Jason Anderson. He just did a 2-year deal with Cowie, I'm pretty sure. Like, I don't know if that's,
like I said, I stay out of that. I stay out of that stuff.
Well,
but also everybody has to travel and everybody has to do the same thing. So you can look at it. It's much different for the teams. Much different for the teams. There's no 18-wheeler at each race with the race truck and all that.
Yeah,
but your whole program changes, but it changes for everyone.
Yeah.
Right? And you look, back in the days, like Jeff Stanton retired at 26, Carmichael was 27, Villapoto, he was like, he called it early. Guys like Kevin Windham and Chad Reed, they showed that really, if you do want to just ride Supercross only, for some reason it's a little less taxing on the riders, and those guys are really gifted. They make it look really easy. They probably don't have to put as much effort into it as some people do. But a guy like Marvin Muscan, I would think he could extend his career and his earning potential by being involved with World Supercross, greatly. And so we're gonna see how that materializes for these athletes. And then for the companies that jump on board with this, that, if they're wanting to take their brand global, let's say that it's like an endemic, right, a motorcycle related product, or the opportunity now for global brands. Wow, we really like that Supercross thing. It's concentrated really just in North America. Even though these athletes are global, now we can take these events elsewhere. And so it'd be interesting to see how the business of Supercross evolves with this championship.
Yeah, well, I think we had Peter Adderton did the podcast actually, but he only ended up doing an hour, and then he had to go to like a Supercross. Like, it just got cut shorter than we thought, so we never actually put it out. But it was right after Melbourne, and he was saying that as a sponsor, like Boost used to sponsor Supercross in the US a bunch, like that, it was with Chad and Yamaha Troy. Yeah. But he said you get to a point as a global brand where you're in so many countries that you can't sink as much money into a sport or sponsorships that don't kind of hit all of your markets. And it does make sense. And, when you are like, okay, all right, so we're a brand that's in this country, we're in this country, we're in this country, we're in this country. I think they just announced the broadcast deal for World Supercross yesterday, and it's like, I don't know, how many countries is it going into? It's like
180 something, and yeah.
Yeah. So it's like FS,
and getting
FS1.
with the right partners and having the right, the networks being committed to, air times and promotion and all that sort of things are really important also, not just, hey, it's on this network. Well, if they really back it. And if you think about, with the admiration that other athletes have for Supercross, and if you're, let's say you're an F1 driver or, in that industry and you want to watch the race, but wherever you're at, it's not on. Well, nowadays you also have the ability for the digital stream that you can pay for and still get what you want. And so it's really never been a better time to be able to watch sports like this. What's going to be different for us being here in America, well, I'll be at the event, but for the American fans is now you've got into the global time deal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I was thinking about when we were doing this, you're in Dubai. I'm like, hold on, wait, how far ahead is it? Oh shit, it's 10 hours ahead. So I got to be conscious of that when we're trying to schedule this.
Yeah.
Of the times. And yeah, you may end up watching Supercross at 3 a.m. somewhere or wherever, but that's part of it. But it's
Yeah.
also part of like, hey, did you guys get up early for the F1 final?
100%.
4 a.m. it's on or whatever. And it just becomes part of the character of that championship.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And dude, coming from Australia, I mean, Americans are so spoiled for Supercross, it's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
You get to go to all the races. There's 5 in California. Like, growing up for me in Australia, it was either you would get it on the Bar to Bar DVD at the end of the season, or you would find somebody that had ESPN at their house, and then you'd get up crazy early Saturday morning and you'd ride your BMX bike to like one of your mates that had ESPN. So it's like, it was honestly part of the adventure of like trying to be a sports fan. And it's the same for, I mean, that's actually one of the better things about living in Dubai, is being in the right time zone. I haven't missed a F1 or a MotoGP or anything this whole year, which has been sick. But being a international fan too, like there's just so many people where that becomes, I guess, like a part of the culture of following an international sport. And there's a certain flavor to that too. Yeah.
I mean, I follow English Premier League. Like I said, Liverpool's my team. Unfortunately, it's been kind of a shit year, and my son's team is Manchester City. So he lets me know it a lot of the time. But I love waking up on a Saturday or Sunday morning, first thing, and like crack my eyes open, check the score. Okay, when's my game on?
Yeah.
Just like with the NFL, it's like, like here in America, like in California, 10 a.m., boom, first game's on. You know exactly when the games are on. You schedule your time around that, and you just make it work, and it becomes part of the the fabric that is the sport.
So what do you think that the guys got right last year that maybe people wouldn't expect or wouldn't see or come across on a broadcast
with World Supercross?
With World Supercross,
yeah, the execution of the event and trying to time with the DJs and the music, execution of the live event. I mean, because there's two separate things happening. There's a live event, and then there's a broadcast team trying to cover the live event. And then all those things have to work in, a coordination with each other. The promotion seemed to be really good considering everything was so late and just not enough lead time. But we had fantastic crowds at each night of racing. And I don't underestimate what it takes to run an event like that, even down to the crew that runs the floor. I mean, think of how many gate drops there is and all the coordination, getting everything that way. Also, what was totally different for World Supercross is because there are 10 team owners that have equity stake. Nobody else is allowed to race unless it's a wild card. The wild card doesn't have to race under the umbrella of a team, I don't think, if I remember correctly. But the pit setups and the execution of all that stuff, each team has 3 of these big custom-made crates that get shipped around the world, and a certain amount of coordination with the team of what goes in there and all that. I mean, it's a whole new way to go racing. I think we nailed it with press conferences, pre and post. Marketing stuff was really fun. Social media team did a kick-ass job, and all that's just going to get better. I mean, the broadcast team will have more cohesion and be able to bring more flavor of the individual countries and locations that we're at to the viewers around the world. So.
Yeah. I think as far as the live events went, I mean, obviously I was only at Melbourne, but I mean, I'd been to their stuff before, so it's like I kind of knew what to expect. But yeah, I guess as a live event, it was pretty epic. And I think one of the things that we're yet to see with the World Supercross is how good they are at storytelling in terms of media and the stuff that they can produce. I mean, last year they only were able to have 2 rounds, which everyone's like, oh, you call it a world championship? Like, with you only doing it's like, all right, bro. Well, yeah.
Well, the race in Jakarta didn't happen. It's supposed to be 3. we've had a 3-round world championship before, but
Rome
yeah,
wasn't built.
it's not-
Rome wasn't built in a day.
no, and that's the people that didn't like the idea of this new championship were easily, took a look at that and wanted to criticize that. Okay, well, hey, 5 years from now, when we're doing 20 events globally, then you can come pat us on the back and give us compliments.
We're excited to announce the launch of our new membership site, gypsytales.com, packed with exclusive content and perks that you won't find anywhere else. This is your chance to become a part of the Gypsy Gang. And as a special bonus, if you sign up to an annual membership, you'll be entered into the draw to win our custom-built TC125. Gypsy Gang.